Hi, and welcome to the Day Trading for Beginners podcast. This is season 2, episode 7. And in this episode, we're talking about my day trading setup. So this is going to be a setup for beginners. I'm a beginner day trader, and I've gotten to the point now where I'm starting to study a strategy. I'm starting to actually do some paper trading, and I actually sort of need a setup to do this efficiently. So my name is Tyler Stokes from StokesTrades.com. I'm on a journey to become a full-time day trader. And again, we're at the stage now where we're studying a strategy and we're doing some paper trading. And I've gone ahead and kind of created my first day trading setup. So below in the show notes, you'll find a link to an article where all the references that we talk about in this podcast, you can find links to all the tools that I'm using. And in the show notes itself, we'll have some information as well. So when we go through some of these things, you can sort of find references to everything below in the show notes. So basically, starting out in day trading, as you can imagine, if you've sort of been on this journey with me, there can be a bit of confusion because there's a lot of information regarding so many things, particularly when you are trying to figure out what your setup should look like. Like, what kind of computer do I need? What software is essential? Which tools will actually, help me make better trades? And I know personally, when I started, back in early 2024, I came across some posts discussing, computers, software, and I really got not anxious, but I got into a bit of a rabbit hole trying to figure out what I need. And I realized that at that beginning stages, I really don't need to worry about that. But I'm sure you've maybe come across this thought yourself and you're kind of wondering, what do you really need? What tools do you actually need? And with all these kind of questions swirling around, it can get easy to get stuck and start wondering and start worrying about your setup. But, the good news is you don't need to have it all figured out right away. And here in this podcast, I am going to actually walk you through my current day trading setup, from the computer that I'm using to all the software tools that I've signed up for. And then by the end, you'll have a clear idea of what you actually need to get started as a beginner. But do keep in mind, again, you don't need to worry about this stuff until you're actually studying a strategy and you're starting to do paper trading. So depending on, what stage you are at, if you're still sort of learning the basics of technical analysis and so on, you really don't need to worry about very much, except maybe a charting software. But if you actually start paper trading and you're studying a strategy and you're going to actually do some trades, then you will kind of want some sort of beginner setup. And that's what we're going to cover here in this podcast. But again, you don't need this stuff on day one. So just do keep that in mind. So here I'm going to list the exact things that I'm currently using as I'm studying to become a day trader. And this is really going to be my first setup. And I would imagine I'll do an update later on, as I gain more experience, I become more, as I become a better trader. But here are the things that I'm using from sort of the beginning stages of paper trading. And again, you can find links to all of these below in the show notes. So the first thing, is a brokerage account. So I am using interactive brokers, and we've had podcasts and YouTube videos about signing up for that. The paper trading account I'm using is with interactive brokers. The charting software is I'm using TradingView. There is an alternative called, I think, TC2000. Personally, I just went with TradingView. Many people on YouTube and some influencers and some people I follow use TradingView. So that's what I'm using. My trading journal is going to be TraderSync. And then I will have a scanner and a screener. Now, we're going to talk about the difference between a scanner and a screener. As I've studied my strategy in the wiki, I came across a post that outlined the differences, and I kind of was inspired to create my setup because I came across a post in the wiki that was called How to Actually Find Stocks. And that kind of showed me the different tools that I need for this particular strategy. And I sort of, got my setup set up, so to speak. So we're going to talk about the difference between a scanner and a screener. I'm using a scanner from Interactive Brokers, a screener from TradingView, and then my computer is a laptop, and I have 2 external monitors. So we're going to get into the details of all of these things right now. Okay, so the first thing that you probably already have set up is your day trading your platform, your brokerage. So we've covered that in a post and a podcast and a video, how to choose your broker. So you can find a link to that. A really short, easy summary would be to, based on the research I've done, either choose Interactive Brokers or choose Thinkorswim, which is TD Ameritrade. So there are others, and you can certainly be successful with other brokerages. For me and the research I did, these two seem to have popped up all the time. So if you live in the US, consider either one of those. And if you live outside of the US, Interactive Brokers is a very good platform. Both of these have very reasonable fees. And more importantly, they have all the features that you need as a professional trader. So that's going to be your brokerage account. Now, your paper trading software, for me, I just chose my paper trading software to be with the brokerage that I'm using. So I want to learn how to make trades in my paper trading account that is actually the same platform that I will be executing real trades in. So if you are with Interactive Brokers, they have a paper trading account. You will want to set that up. And we've set that up in prior podcasts and YouTube videos. If you go with Thinkorswim, they also have a really good paper trading account. So that's why those two brokerages are highly recommended. Now, TradingView is the charting software that I'm using. They actually have a paper trading account as well. I opted to not do that because I'm not going to actually be executing trades in my paper in TradingView. I'm going to be doing them in Interactive Brokers. So that's why I decided to go with my paper trading account with Interactive Brokers. But do keep in mind that TradingView does have a paper trading account that you can consider using. So those two tools, software, whatever you want to call it, are essential. You need a brokerage account and you need a paper trading account. Now, you are probably wondering what your computer setup needs to be. So for this is my first setup. I'm still very much a beginner. I think I'm potentially going to upgrade my setup in the future. However, right now, this works for me. It sort of gives me the bare minimum that I need. So you will need a desktop computer or a laptop and a good internet connection. So you don't want a computer that's going to freeze on you when you're making trades or you're looking at charts, and you don't want sort of a lagging internet connection. So those two are pretty obvious, but you can't really do proper day trading from what I've researched from your cell phone or your tablet. You can certainly execute trades from a cell phone through an app, but you're not going to be able to do proper research, charting, and day trading, in my opinion, unless you're using a laptop and a desktop. Now, you will want to get two computer monitors. I think this makes a great deal of a difference for your workflow. And I've seen this recommendation many times. Certain, professional traders, they have way more monitors, but I think at a minimum, you will need two external monitors. So personally, I've always worked with a MacBook laptop, and I just have a external monitor that I use because it's a bigger screen. And I went out and bought a very inexpensive second monitor, just an Acer monitor, a 27-inch monitor. I think it was around $150. Now I have two external monitors, and it makes things flow much better in terms of my actual work flow. So those, I would think, are the bare minimum that you need in terms of your computer setup. Now, in terms of software, we talked about a charting software. That's really one of the most important things that you're going to need as a day trader. Again, I'm using TradingView. It offers, a very good intuitive interface. Many people use it. It's straightforward. It's easy to use. Certainly, there are other options. You can use the charting software from your brokerage account. However, Interactive Brokers doesn't really give good charting software. TradingView is way, way better. So many better tools, and it's just a better user interface, and so on. Again, there is TC2000. I think that's what it's called as an alternative. For me, I just went with TradingView. And basically what we do have, and I'll share a link, I've got a tutorial in our community school on our group on School. It offers modules on actually getting started with TradingView. So if you're brand new or you're a beginner, you haven't set that up yet, then there is a link below and you can go watch those tutorials on how to get started with TradingView. So that's really an essential charting software. Now, you will also want to consider a trading journal. So journaling your trades is very important. And this software really makes if you get Trading Journal software, it makes the process of journaling your trades very simple, and it provides you with some analytics that you can kind of review. So personally, I am going to be using a paid service called TraderSync. Now, there are free tools out there. You can even manually journal your trades in your own spreadsheet. Personally, I'm going to opt in to use a paid service that makes the process very seamless, very easy, and it can actually give you some good analytics when you actually start, paper trading a lot and doing real trades. In the last few episodes, we talked about, your win rate, your ratios and things like that. And a tool like TraderSync can give you all that data when you use their trading journal. So a trading journal is another thing that you will want to set up. Now, you'll also want a scanner and a screener. So if you are kind of hearing these terms for the first time, personally, I was confused. What is a scanner? What is a screener? So we've created a good post on our free community school that outlines this. And I'm going to briefly go over it here in the podcast. But basically, as I've been studying the strategy wiki, like I mentioned, I came across this post that outlined the differences between these screeners. And this is sort of what inspired me to get my setup up and running. So basically, while a screener and a scanner may seem similar, they do sort of offer different purposes. So a scanner, you can kind of think of this as your real-time assistant. So a scanner operates in real time, and it actively searches the market for stocks that meet your chosen conditions when the market opens. So you can have a scanner, you can have various filters, and it's going to offer, it's going to scan the market, and it's going to offer information about those filters. So it's very good at catching sudden changes such as volume spikes or breakouts. So a very simple scanner is just going to have you can input stocks, and it's going to show you the percentages that stock has gone up or down. So that's just one filter, and basically it just constantly scans and gives you that output. So again, it's real-time monitoring. That's an active trading tool. So, used during live trading hours, you find opportunities as sort of they unfold. It's constantly scanning the market for stocks that match the criteria that you've put into your scanner. So an example, you can get an alert when you instantly can get an alert when, a stock's volume might surge up over the last few minutes. A scanner can provide that type of information. So personally, for my setup, Interactive Brokers, their trader workstation, that's where I'm going to be executing trades. They have a scanner that I'll be using. Now, there is this other scanner called the Zenbot stock scanner. There'll be a link below. It's a free scanning tool, and it kind of goes along with the trading strategy that is in the wiki, the relative strength and relative weakness. This free tool sort of gives good scans in relation to relative weakness and relative strength. So that is going to be the two scanners that I am going to use. Trader Workstation, Interactive Brokers. It's free. It's going to be in my software where I'm going to be executing trades. I'll have a scan running that'll show me various stocks based on the filters that I put in. And then the Zenbot stock scanner is another tool I'm going to be using. And then for screeners, you can think of a screener as like your pre-market or your after hours analysis. So a screener, it's used when you're doing maybe research before or after the market open. So it's not continuously updating like a scanner. Instead, it provides a static list of stocks that meet your selected criteria, at the moment that you actually run the screener. So these are ideal for creating watch lists or filtering stocks based on, some fundamental or technical factors that you've kind of inputted into the screener. So it's an on-demand search, static results. And again, an example, you might run a screener to find stocks that had maybe a 10% price increase and a higher relative volume today, but it won't keep updating unless you keep refreshing the screener. So the screener I'm going to use is with TradingView. They have a screener that's very user-friendly and allows me to quickly filter stocks based on various inputs that I put in. So if I want to put this all together and just talk about how it will work with my two monitors, on the left monitor I'm going to have TradingView open, and I'm going to have my charting software open. So I'll have several tabs. I'll be tracking the S&P, or I'll be tracking the SPY. I'll be tracking, I can have tabs open where I have, my trading software chart. I'll have the SPY on one. I'll have like a split screen for a tab where I'm looking at the SPY against a particular stock. I can have other stock tabs open and charting, seeing the daily chart, seeing the 15-minute charts, and so on. So on my left monitor, I'm going to do all my charting with TradingView, and I'll also do a potential screening in another tab. And then on my right monitor, that's where I will have my trader workstation open so I can execute trades on my right side. On my right monitor, I can have my scans going in trader workstation, and then I'll have other websites that might be open, giving me other sort of information on finding stocks. So I can have a heat map showing, what stocks are up or what stocks are down in the day. And I can have the ZenBot stock scanner as well. So 2 monitors. Again, my left side is going to be for charting, and my right side is going to be for research and executing trade. So that's the setup that I've sort of established as a beginner who's just started paper trading. And those are all of the things that you will need to sort of do this at a bare minimum. So again, scanners, they're best for live trading. They catch real-time opportunities, and screeners are typically used for pre-market analysis and building watch lists. So on the right side, I can build watch lists in Trader Workstation. TradingView charting, you can also sort of build watch lists as well. And then charting on the left side, research and executing trades on the right monitor. And that is sort of how I've set it up. And again, I'm hoping that I'll have a video below in the show notes that sort of outlines this. And if I haven't got that up and running at the time of listening to this, certainly there's an article that goes through everything and has links to everything to make make it a bit easier when you go and try and set this actually up yourself. So again, just to wrap this up, getting started and getting this set up, at first it can be overwhelming. I know for me, I've gone through this and, I needed this software. People were contradicting each other and so on. But it really doesn't have to be. You can follow along and just do exactly what I've done. Focus on just the essentials, like a solid brokerage, a charting software, and then a few key tools to help sort of keep you organized and spot opportunities. This setup, it's working for me. Again, I am a beginner. There probably are more advanced setups, but I don't think you need that right now to actually get some paper trades under your belt and study your strategy and so on. As you gain more experience, you could adjust the setup. You can use various new tools and so on. And do keep in mind, this setup works for the specific strategies that I am using. You might be studying some other strategy that may require some other tools. But I think at the bare minimum, you have your computer set up. You've got 2 monitors. You need to chart on one monitor. You need to do research and execute on the other monitor. And then you'll create watch lists in your brokerage account with Trader Workstation. And you have a screener with your charting software with TradingView. And really that is the essential things that you need as a beginner. So I hope that you found this useful. Again, if you're just starting out, don't get overwhelmed. Just follow along what I've done or do your own research. Again, you don't need to get this perfect until you're actually, paper trading and actually making real money trades as well. So just to kind of try out some things, you might opt in for some other tool, some alternatives that I'm using. That's totally fine. But just don't get overwhelmed, because if you're just starting, you're a brand new beginner, you don't need to get this perfect from day one. You can just take your time and set this up. And remember, we're paper trading. We're not risking any real money. So you can kind of create your station and kind of make it ideal for you, how you work, your workflow, and the strategy that you're using. So thanks so much for listening. I hope that you found this useful. And again, below in the show notes, I'll have links that you can kind of reference all the things that we spoke about in this podcast. So thanks so much for listening, and I will talk to you in the next one.